Hi friends, welcome back to God's Garden Bench. My name is Jenny. In this video, we are going to be doing our first garden tour of the season. Now, I know that it's a bit early for this, based on what a lot of people do on YouTube, but I want the record of it. I've been planting stuff in the garden, as well as I've never done this before to where I have record of it looking like a completely blank slate and then the end result of the lush green flower filled garden. So I thought, you know what, why not just go ahead and do it? Someone else might really appreciate seeing the process as well. And then next winter, whenever I'm really missing the garden, I can go back and watch the whole progression. And I just thought that it would be really fun for us to see. All right, so here we are in the arbor garden. Now in the front two beds right here and right here, there's not a whole lot going on. I'm thinking there might be some dormant volunteer flower seeds, but not a whole lot going on right now. And these will be all flowers, just beautiful, lush flowers in those two beds. Now, in this bed, in the front part of it, we have garlic. So from the edge of the bed all the way to this car right here is garlic. Aside from on the trellis, we did peas right here. And then, well, actually, let me walk around this way. We have a Brussels sprout right here, which looks really sad. I'm not quite sure what's going on with that. I think maybe sunburn, maybe a little bit of frost, but the middle part is still nice and green, so I'm hoping that it's going to come back. Now here we have some spinach that decided to succeed at life, and I didn't realize it soon enough, and now it is actually going to seed. So I'm just going to leave it and see what it looks like, because it's actually quite a pretty plant also. Now this is another kind of spinach here, and you know, I'm not able to remember which one is which. You guys might know just by looking at it if you're familiar with spinach. But there you go, there are two different types of spinach. And these are the plants that we planted in the last video. We have some Swiss chard going on and a climbing rose. And I'll put it on the screen what it looks like in full bloom. And if I can find the tag, the picture of the tag, I'll go ahead and put that in there as well. And then these are all of the ones that we did last time in that video. And now if we come around to this bed, actually here, I'll start with the buckets. My husband got me some fruit trees for Valentine's Day because he's basically the best husband ever. And so he got me a grape. Actually, these two are grapes, two different varieties of grapes. I will try to find a picture of them and put them in there. And then two different types of blueberries as well. I don't know how they're doing. Honestly, this is my first year doing any kind of fruit. And I don't know if they're supposed to be red like this. But I'm hoping that they are doing okay and they're happy. I put soil acidifier in the buckets, so I'm really hoping that they're doing well. Now, here's the garden dog. Hey, mate. You're such a good boy. No, ma'am. No, sir. That is not your ball. Good boy. Nope, not one either. Good boy. Oh, you're such a good dog. You're such a good dog. Oh. All right, a friend dropped by. That was the car you heard pulling up in the last part of the last little clip. So I'm going to just go ahead and take the opportunity to start up here in this bed. So this is where the garlic was, and this is where we are now. So right here in this section in the front, I'm going to be planting carrots. I have not yet. I just amended it yesterday. And then here we have some beautiful kale growing. If you guys have some kale recipes to shoot me, that would be amazing, because I grow all of this kale and then don't actually know what to do with it. So then here along this trellis, we have the peas that you saw planted in the last video. And then moving over here, we have strawberries. and whatever this weed is that I cannot seem to get rid of. It is so deep rooted. And then look at that. Isn't that beautiful? It's just little blessings everywhere. And then we've got the strawberries are actually blooming, which means strawberry blessings that we're very excited about. So here, I don't have anything planted along these trellises yet, but this is the strawberry bed, and these all kind of runnered from last year. So we've got strawberries in and around this bed, and also wheat seeds that have seeded from the straw, which is always super fun. And then we have strawberries in the rest of this bed. Once again, look at that, guys. Oh, such deliciousness about to happen. So here we go. Here's the strawberry bed. And this on here is a rose, a wild rose that I rescued from the woods. And I put it on this trellis, and I'm so excited about it. Isn't that beautiful? And it's this beautiful, like, deep pink color. I'll put it on the screen so that you guys can see it in bloom. This is some kind of daisy. I think it's a Shasta daisy is what this is called. It's, once again, I'll put it on the screen. You guys might know exactly what it is. I seeded it, thought it died, had no idea what it was until it bloomed last year. It made it all through last winter without any care or love from me. And so it has earned its rightful spot in the garden. And so there it is. Now, if I turn here, these cinder block beds here at the end, these will also just be all flowers. Now, the very cool thing is that last year I planted plants in here, and these daisies, I thought that I wasn't able to grow daisies for some reason. And daisies are one of my favorite flowers. I think they're absolutely beautiful. And so I seeded these, and they never came up and they never germinated. And I was just like, you know what? Okay, you know, I just will plant something else there next year. And they're coming up. Isn't that amazing? They're teaching me so much, because now I think I'll seed daisies in the fall and allow them to overwinter and then come up in the spring. So this is one of the beds that I'm trying to decide whether I'm going to plant all sunflowers. I think I'm going to plant all sunflowers in both of these beds just because sunflowers are amazing. Obviously the daisies are going to be staying there. Now right here in these pots, I've been rescuing daffodils from around the property, and anytime they come up, I go ahead and dig them up and put them in places with more sun, as well as places that we can enjoy them. So that is what is here. Now it will find a new home. It's closest to the manure pile, so, or the compost manure, whatever. And then in this one, this is actually a camellia plant that my grandmother gave me. Well, my grandmother-in-law. Mighty, what are you doing? And it's looking kind of rough. I'm not sure what was going on with it. I did have it over kind of maybe a little bit too much in the shade. The trees might have become a little bit too mature, and then we're shading it out too much. So I went ahead and put it in this pot right here, and I'm hoping that I can bring it back because heirloom plants are pretty important to me. I don't want it to die. So moving on to this bed here, we have some volunteers coming back. So all of the ones that you see in here are volunteers from last year. I did a wildflower seed mix, actually 2 different kinds of wildflower seed mixes in this bed. And so I'm not exactly sure what these things are that are coming up, but they are beautiful nonetheless. And I'm pretty sure those, once again, are some kind of daisy, just given the leaf shape. But once again, we might be surprised. I think these are straw flowers. Maybe not. So once again, I don't know. Could very well be a weed disguising itself as a beautiful flower, but we'll find out. Once again, here we go. Have no idea what it is, but it's earned itself a space until it proves to not actually be any kind of flower. There's some more daisies back there. And then right here we have a very sad looking gardenia. And I'm hoping that it is going to come back. Once again, if you guys have any advice for me on what to do for it, it would be very helpful. Clearly it still has some life in it. Maybe it'll just, you know, get better when the sun and the warmth comes back. Now these are some carrot volunteers. So these are willow cuttings that I took off of the willow tree in the front yard, and I rooted them last year, put them in these pots, and I totally thought that they were dead over the winter, and then they started sprouting, like they started leafing, and I couldn't be happier about it. This willow tree, I'll show you in a different little part of this video. My 13-year-old Rottweiler is buried under that willow tree, and so we call it Cleo's tree. And so these are cuttings off of Cleo's tree, and once again, it's just such a blessing. It's so sentimental and holds a special place in my heart for sure. And if we can have more Cleo willows in the yard, that would just be amazing. These wheelbarrows are breaking down. They are broken, very broken, not able to be repaired. They actually have like damage to the bed and everything. But I thought what a cool planter it will be if I can find a plant that kind of spills over. My thought was maybe petunias, but I'm planning on doing something fun and beautiful, and I actually have 2 of them, so another one is going to be going right here, either here or possibly up at the front. I haven't quite decided yet where they're going to go, but I thought that would be very cool. So that sums up the arbor garden, and now we'll go ahead and do a tour of the other spaces. Now I'm gonna walk us back to the log gardens so that you guys can fully understand how far it is. Mighty, are you coming? Oh, stop. This is where we put the onions, and we have our chive plant coming, fighting the grass. I think I'm going to transplant it to give it a little bit more of a fighting chance. But we planted onions right here. This is in our backyard, kind of along the wood line of the backyard. We have some irises that my neighbor gave us a couple years ago, and he told us that it'll just keep coming back, and man, was he right. They are beautiful. They're beautiful yellow flowers. I'll put one on the screen if I can find it. And then you will see more of them later in the season as well. So here we go. We're going to keep walking. Jeep mound. And we've arrived at the log garden, which is a little disheveled right now. There's like random stuff all over the place. I'm telling you, is your garden the same way? I'd clean it up and then it just seems to collect more stuff. So here we go. As I told you, I was going to expand it. So you can see that finally have it all prepared, which is so encouraging. I was a little bit discouraged by how much work I felt like I had to do. So in this first row here, we have red onions and they're coming up. Isn't that awesome? So those are all along here, and I just planted more yellow onions. I think they're like yellow sweet onions or something. And if we move along here, we have broccoli, and I have a mixture of stuff along this row. I have broccoli, cabbage, and I think Brussels sprouts are down there at the end. So that's what's in that one. And then if we continue on here, once again, cabbages, I think just cabbages, and I might have done Brussels sprouts all the way down there at the end. And these hoops are going to be eventually for some frost fabric. It's been really windy here, and so I haven't wanted to put it up and damage them. So I put the hoops up in preparation for when the frost fabric will actually go on. And now these two poles are representing where the green beans and yellow beans will be going. It's too early to put them in now, so that is just kind of a wait and prepared, waiting for its planting. Here's where the potatoes are going to be going. And then down there at the end, that's where the sweet potatoes are going. So here I'm going to walk. Pretty sure that this little spot is going to be the walkway. Anyway, I've been really trying not to walk a whole lot on this. Ooh, hold on. Check this out. Hello, little volunteer. Squash or watermelon. I think that's a Congo watermelon, but I don't know for sure. How cool is that though? So here, I have to get rid of that grass, but this is going to be the sweet potato patch. I made this trench so that the water can flow through, because I was having a hard time with water retention right there. And then this is just going to be a continuation of these rows, and it's separated now because this is where the ducks were. So I had to kind of do it separately from whenever I did the rest of it. So that is the log garden. It's amazing to think about how lush and green this space is going to be in such a short period of time. And garden tours are going to be looking so different. And oh, it's just amazing. Plants just amaze me so much. Oh, I remembered that we have some other little volunteers over here. Once again, have no idea what they are. My guess is probably some kind of cantaloupe. Maybe like a Hal's Best or something like that, I think is what I had here last year. And then Brussels sprouts go all the way down there to the end. And the garden dog. Now we'll walk over here. Here we have some irises that one of our friends gave us. And it's just been such a blessing, people giving us flowers, giving me flowers to plant and irises to plant and just seeds and all that. It's just so heartwarming to me. So I have no idea what these are going to look like, but they're just beautiful. And I planted them in this compost like manure pile just to keep them over because I didn't have anywhere to put them when they gave them to us. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna throw them in this soil here as, you know, so they don't die and dry out. And they've done really well. Obviously, they're in very rich, fertile soil. And I'm gonna leave them here for this season and then transplant them to somewhere else come when they go dormant. But isn't that beautiful? The ever faithful garden dog. Hi, mate. Oh, you're such a good boy. Oh, face squishes. Oh, this is what I call the tree garden. And I just started it last year, and it's just so beautiful. Oh man, in the summer, this space is just gorgeous. I'm still trying to figure out what to plant in this space because it does get shade in the summer. And so, yeah, I'm still trying to figure that out. But these are plants that were given to us last year that I went ahead and dumped out because we would have the soil. You guys saw that in one of the videos as well. Here are some of the rescued. I mean, I guess that's arguable with how they are looking right now. I'm sorry, friends. But the daffodils that I've planted in there. And then I had last year, I had just zinnias and wildflowers. And you see the log garden is right there. So I had zinnias and marigolds, I think, and wildflower mix in here last year. And then I have this little fairy walk, and my mom bought me these tea lights, these solar tea lights. And so in the night or the dusk, they come on. Oh, it's just beautiful. So here I had thyme, and I thought that it had died. English thyme is what it is, but I'm seeing it sprouting again, so I'm really hopeful. I don't want to disturb it too much. And then we have bee balm right here, which is so amazing. This didn't even flower last year, and once again, I don't know whether it's because it doesn't get enough sunlight. It'll be really interesting. I may end up moving this based on that, but I'm gonna see what it does this year and then go from there. Now I think this was Italian oregano right here, and you know, one of the tag I think grew legs and walked away, but I think that this is Italian oregano. I had something right here, and I don't remember which herb it was, but I don't think that it's coming back. It looks pretty bleak. I don't even know where the plant was. But moving down here, once again, this was an oregano, is an oregano of some sort. I'm not sure which one it is. Oh, it smells so good, y'all. So good. So then if we swing around over here, last year I planted chamomile right here. Now, there was also a different kind of plant that looked kind of like chamomile right beside it. And so I'm not sure whether this is my chamomile coming back or whatever that other plant is, but it'll be really interesting to see. If this is actually chamomile, it will make me so happy. We have a coneflower making its appearance this year, which is really exciting. Oh, I love this flower. The echinacea is also another name for it. I had some lavender in this section. I don't know if it's gonna come back or what it's gonna do. I had rosemary here that promptly died because I can't seem to figure out how to keep rosemary happy. I think this is chamomile. I planted another chamomile plant here. I'm pretty sure that that's what that is. And then a beautiful little dandelion. Hello, friend. And then we have more echinacea or purple coneflower. I don't remember if I had anything there, but I had a lemon thyme plant right here, which was divine, and I don't think this one is coming back, but maybe it just looks really bleak. So once again, I don't know if it just didn't have enough sun or what. Maybe it was too much sun. So this is the rest of the log garden here. I have gladiolas planted along this ridge here, so we'll be, oh, and look, they're coming up. Look at that, guys. They're coming up. Oh man, what a blessing. So I think there should be more coming up at the bases of these stalks as well. Oh yeah, there's one over there coming up. Oh, it's kind of hard to see through all the other stuff. Here, I'll take you over there. Like this. Where is it? Right there. Oh man, how cool is that? So then throughout the rest of this space, I just had a wildflower mix. So it'll be really fun and really interesting to see what ends up coming up in this area. And I'm really honestly not sure what I'm gonna do with this garden this coming year. Not quite sure what to plant in it so that it succeeds, but I will definitely keep you updated. So that is the tree garden. It looks like this. My sitting stump. There we go, and another sitting stump. All right, so we are in the front yard, and this is one of the garden beds that I have. And last year it was so beautiful. I had so many zinnias and cosmos planted in this space, and I'll put it on the screen so you guys can see what I'm talking about. And it was maybe one of my favorite little spaces last year. So here is Cleo's willow. And it's so beautiful. It's starting to leaf out, and it's got these beautiful little flowers. Let me take you over there. I mean, I think that that's what they are. It's like the tree's version of the flower on them. How cool is that? So I gave her a little bit of a haircut, and I'm sorry to say I gave her a bad haircut. I'm sorry, friend. But here we go. It was touching the ground, and they were starting to not look very good, so I trimmed it. But I did the whole trim it, pull it down and trim it, like a bad bang haircut. And it'll grow back. That's what I'm telling myself. So in here, once again, this is one of those areas that I'm still trying to figure out what to grow in here because it gets shaded. So what I did is I actually planted hostas in here. Now the hostas that I did plant were pretty dry and old. So I did zinnias, which are my tried and true last year, and they really struggled. I tried sunflowers in this space. They really struggled. So I don't know what we're gonna plant in this. Maybe marigolds. Maybe I'll try those. But we shall see what ends up being there. And then if we turn back this way, just to give you guys some context of where we are, there's the arbor garden. There we have it, first garden tour of 2023.